Hey, welcome in. Well, I have to ask the question. Why do celebrities, artists, musicians, the like, why do they want us to hate them so much? Because they just never seem to stop with their narcissistic idiocy. Here's the headline. Neil Young demands Spotify remove his music over false information about the jabs. And I've actually got a quote here from Neil Young. Let's listen to that right now. Quote, "They can have Joe or Young." Neil Young wrote in a letter to his manager and label, "Not both." Again with the narcissism, not both. Now look, I love Neil Young's old music, the music he wrote 50 years ago. I do love that music. But let's not pretend here that Neil Young is as culturally relevant as Joe Rogan is today. Not as relevant and not nearly as important. I mean, Joe Rogan wants to preserve open discussion. Apparently, Neil Young wants to get rid of it. And look, again, I love that old music from the early 1970s. But I can also tell you that I can live without hearing Old Man for the 4 billionth time. And I know that on the Joe Rogan podcast, there's going to be conversations that I want to hear going into the future. Neil Young ain't going to make another Old Man. He's not going to make another Heart of Gold. He's kind of done at this point. So from my perspective, if it's Joe Rogan or Neil Young, I'm taking Joe Rogan. Sorry, Neil. So what's going on here? Neil Young posted a since-deleted letter to his management team and record label demanding that they remove his music from Spotify. "I am doing this because Spotify is spreading fake information about the jabs, potentially causing death to those who believe the disinformation being spread by them. Please act on this immediately today and keep me informed of the time schedule." Now, as far as I know, they've just completely ignored him. Which makes sense because I'm guessing that Joe Rogan brings in a lot more money for them than Neil Young does. As great as his songs from 50 years ago were. And they were great. They are great. That album Harvest is fantastic. And I know that he's put out 1 million albums and there have been, brighter spots here and there. But the stuff everybody loves, it's all from the 70s, mostly from the early 70s. But anyway, he continues, "I want you to let Spotify know immediately, today, in all caps, that I want all my music off their platform. They can have Joe Rogan or Young, not both." With an estimated 11 million listeners per episode, Joe Rogan Experience, which is hosted exclusively on Spotify, is the world's largest podcast and has tremendous influence. Spotify has a responsibility to mitigate the spread of misinformation on its platform, though the company presently has no misinformation policy. So that's it, folks. Neil Young said it. He doesn't like it. Neil Young doesn't like it. And you know what happens when Neil Young doesn't like something? He writes a song about it. Take that, Spotify. Now, if he'd written a song about it 50 years ago, that'd be something else. But right now, well, I'm sure his family would like it. But again, I'm not sure that Spotify is going to pay a lot of attention to this. And I'm sure there are contractual things here where it doesn't matter what he thinks anyway. But why does Neil Young, who I'm sure has had more joints than he's had hot dinners in his life, I'm absolutely certain that his brain is about as fried as a brain can be at this point. Why does he think that his expertise is the most important thing in the world? I guess for the same reason that all celebrities think that they're the most important thing in the world and that their opinions are the most important things in the world. Because they're narcissists, delusional narcissists. I don't know. So for my part, I don't give a shit if Neil Young takes his music off Spotify. And you know what? Just thinking about it, as far as I know, Neil Young isn't a medical professional. And I thought we were only supposed to listen to medical professionals. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he was one of those 270 medical professionals that wrote the letter to Spotify about Joe Rogan. And that was full of people who weren't doctors or were even qualified to talk about it, so why couldn't he? Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. Please subscribe, like, and share. That really helps me out. If you'd just like to listen, there's the podcast Radio Baloney. It's on pretty much every platform. If you look for it, you will find it. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.